Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Alison from digiteachonline.com. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe because like that, you're going to get all of my top tips, news, tutorials, and all that great stuff to do with tech and teaching online. In particular, I help people build their own online businesses by really creating their own personal brands. Now, I actually own a number of brands myself. I'm also the creator of Baguette the Bilingual Bear and the award-winning book series that's featured on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and lots of other places. However, I also have language schools, just eating some yummy chocolate and lots of other really great stuff. So today I wanted to basically share some of my content marketing strategies because I see lots of people making mistakes when it comes to trying to create their own personal brand. One of the biggest mistakes is this. They try to be like everybody else, and this is such a big no-no, even in their application of how they actually put their content out, the webinar that then goes into a hardcore sell, for example, or pretending to kind of help you out with clickbaity type of stuff, and then really it's just a long winding path quite often to basically buying their products or their services. Now, when you're creating content to create your own audience where you're going to find your tribe of basic ravers of people who are going to be your potential clients, paying clients, one of the biggest things that you need to be doing first is building an audience. You can't build an audience on fake, and you can't build an audience by copying what everybody else does because it ceases to be unique. And in order for your brand to stand out from everybody else, you need to be showing everybody that you are unique and what you are doing is so different from everybody else. Now, you can have products or services which are similar to or align closely to other people's. That is definitely, obviously, you know, that happens. That's how it works in a lot of ways. But the secret sauce is how you present your content, and the secret sauce is actually one of the things people either don't do or they get it completely wrong, which is your own personal story. Now, storytelling is really important in content marketing, but I don't have to sit here and tell you that so many of the self-proclaimed gurus, the American marketers, they bang on about this storytelling, and then whenever they release a piece of content, it always has the same story. This is really boring. One person does not just have one story to tell. And quite often when you share some of your personal experiences in your storytelling through your content to build your audience, you will start to connect with lots of different people. And this is really important as well because everybody goes on about niche, niching down. There is no point in niching down when you're starting to build your brand because you need to find your own true brand identity, and you also need to find the true identity of your audience. Now, if you've never had a business, you've never had a brand, you've never really worked professionally with social and digital marketing, you've got no idea how to run Facebook ads, how to do lead generation, how to build out funnels or lead pages or write blogs or content writing or any of that stuff, which is pretty much what I do on a daily basis, as a lot of other professional business owners do, you're going to find yourself lost when it comes to niching down. The biggest thing that you can do right now is to create lots of content of different types and different forms. So maybe write some articles, write some blog posts, create some live videos, create some free PDFs, a little booklet, 8 or 10 pages, sharing some useful tips and techniques and methods of whatever it is that you have that you really want to eventually use as your product, or do we want it to become your product or your service to sell, give some of that away. Too many people are not giving stuff away or giving away things that they found for free somewhere else, which is a real no-no, because basically that's not yours to give away to start with. And secondly, it's totally, it's just not authentic. And you want to be really authentic. I'm going to lead you back to one of my personal stories, which is how I came about creating Baguette the Bilingual Bear. My children were born in France. The father of my children is French, or was French. He's now deceased. And I loved, obviously, teaching English when I was in France. When we came back to England, there was such a lack of modern foreign language education for young children, or for parents to get their hands on for young children, so preschool children or children that have just started school. And in the UK, which is where I'm from, London, children have to wait till 12 or 13 before they're even introduced to foreign languages at secondary school. For me, this was just not acceptable. It's not what I wanted for my children, because I had lived in France. I'd also lived in Venice and other places in Europe, and I have seen firsthand how Europeans live and how beneficial bilingual education is to a child's general education and well-being. So I set about changing this. Now, I used to go into lots of academy schools and play groups and run language therapy sessions in my local community, where I would introduce English to help build English and communication skills along with another language. Now, in the UK, we're massively multi-international. We have people from all different countries living here. So it's not uncommon to find people who are not just, native English people in any walk of life in England. So this was very much welcomed by the parents, and the more that the parents kind of raved for it and liked it, the more the schools were becoming more accustomed to introducing it more regularly into their curriculums. In the end, I ended up writing three curriculums for 3 different key stages in England. So key stages are the different areas, the different ages of the educational program. So kindergarten, or preschool as we call it in England, and then primary, and then junior and secondary. So I wrote curriculums for the young children, the preschoolers, and also the infants and the juniors. And then the parents were asking me, after their children had been coming to my lessons, this is wonderful, can we buy, what can you recommend for resources, for books, so they can carry on practicing at home? And I would spend thousands, and I mean thousands, every single year testing out resources so that I could share it with the parents and recommend it. And I remember one year I spent something like £5,500 on resources, and my accountant said that is a lot of money just for this. And a lot of it just was no good, because the resources were either too general, just like a book of clothes, skirt, shoes, t-shirt, not really very interesting for children of 4 or 5 years old, or the recordings were really too fast. French people do speak really fast, I imagine probably just like English people or Spanish people, and it was almost impossible for children and the parents to really understand what was being said. And that created a barrier, because when parents can't help their children, they feel completely helpless, and they start to rescind and draw back from the learning process. And obviously you need the parents on board, because they are the main supporters of their child's education. So this is how I came about creating the Baguette Bear books. So I created obviously some general ones like a bilingual dictionary, but I didn't want it to be the same as everybody else. And I basically just wanted to take the children on a journey with a lovable character who Baguette Bear is, absolutely lovely character, and learn languages with him as you would do in everyday life when you go and live in another country, which is obviously what I have done in the past. One of the unique things with Baguette the bilingual bear is that he is like children because he speaks their language. He is English, but he also speaks other languages as well. So there is something that is very similar to the children, but there is something very interesting and exciting, a little bit adventurous, something that they don't know. And obviously, he's a perfect role model for young children. Because he's inclusive of lots of languages, inclusive of different cultures, and also this promotes bilingual education, which is just wonderful. So that's one of my stories. I have lots of different stories, obviously, as I've gone through my life, hence the grey hair, but that's how Baguette Bear came to being. And then from there I created different language schools and different educational programs where I've worked with other companies and publishers to basically share my knowledge and help them create different things, products, services, whatever they are wanting to do for their own businesses. So don't be afraid to share some of your storytelling, because I think my storytelling for my story for Baguette Bear is quite unique, but it's quite profound, it's quite deep, it has a meaning. So now my books have meaning. The audio range, there are a whole load of CDs and songs that were also written for bilingual learning with Baguette Bear, composed with some of the best composers in London who have worked for theatre and film. So the music is very, very powerful as well. And obviously children love music. It's a wonderful way to learn a language, and also it helps with lots of different aspects of language learning, from rhythm to intonation and all the rest of it. So it's really important. So don't be afraid to share some of your story in your storytelling when it comes across, when you're trying to bring it into your content. But one thing I see a lot with online marketers is the story of pain, the pain point. You have to have the pain point. And adults are intellectual beings, you know, especially on the internet, and it's boring and it's tiresome to hear the same kind of semi-regulated story you know, that lots of people tend to use, and I sometimes question how genuine those stories actually are. So don't be like that, because that's one of the things that kind of puts you in the same group as all these other people that are claiming to be something or other, and you're following the same template, the same like mold. Don't be, you know, you are yourself. Don't try and fit yourself into someone else's mold. Create your own mold for your own business. That's really important. So that's just one of my tips today, really, on helping you think more about your branding. Where you're coming from mentally in your head is very important, because it helps you create a mindset and a vision for your goals for your business, and that's very important when you are thinking about branding. So I'm just going to leave that there with you today, and if you found that really useful, leave me a couple of comments down below, and I will obviously do another video on other aspects when it comes to digital and social media marketing, and helping you basically build your own personal brand for your own online business. Have a great day. Goodbye.